But him probably going to a completely different country is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I would say so.
To be to a totally different environment.
Some anonymity.
Anything connected to what happened, him remembering that.
He's not going to have, like, Geraldo knocking on his door 20 years later.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's do an interview. He's not going to be on Dr. Phil.
Oh, yeah. Or have some assholes on a podcast talk about him.
Yeah. Yeah, like us.
Too bad. Podcasts are different.
Oh, my God. In 2001, while in prison, Natasha Cornett, now you have to remember Natasha, kind of the ringleader of all this.
Yeah, she's the hot manipulator chick.
Saucy vixen. She and another inmate, Krista Pike, allegedly attacked another inmate, Patricia Jones, and tried to strangle her with a shoelace.
So Natasha just fucked up.
Apparently. When this comes to trial, there was insufficient evidence found. Natasha was not formally charged in this, but Krista Pike was found guilty of attempted murder. And they knew Natasha had likely assisted her in this and helped jump this Patricia Jones girl, but they were not able to, nail her with it. And of course, since then, many of these, what do I want to call them, criminals? Many of these kids have tried to appeal their sentence. There was something about, if you're a minor, you can't be sentenced with the death penalty. And so Karen, Jason, they've all tried to appeal. Natasha's tried to appeal her sentence. But so far, they are all still in prison.
Well, that's tricky, when you get kids that do things, at such or rather young ages. But, I don't know. For me, it's like there's a line there. And I don't know so much about their case. That is one of those pack mentality. If all these kids had been separate, it's like these couples that get together. These two personalities, separate, they may be fine. But together, it's just that right mixture of dysfunction and whatever, like those two little Slender Man girls. If they had never been together, that little girl wouldn't have been attacked. But but anyway, some of these kids young people do some pretty horrible shit.
Crystal Sturgill and Karen Howell wrote letters that surfaced around the eve of the 20th anniversary of this family's deaths and try to describe, what happened. Howell, remember, she was 17 at the time. She said that the satanic rituals was just not even true, that was all made up. She said Jason Bryant was the gunman in the crime and that they had spent the day smoking marijuana and that he had a lot of manic behavior. Natasha has manic behavior, and it just kind of created this really nasty sort of storm of bad things to happen. So she was asking for an appeal. She thought that it was unconstitutional, that she had gotten this mandatory sentence for, life in prison as a juvenile, and that, she really was like a part of it as an accessory, but she wasn't really part of the crime. She didn't do the shooting. She's basically was just sort of along for the ride, and this all happened, and she just didn't know what to do.
Describing basically what we mentioned the other day, these perfect set of circumstances, like if a abused woman kills her spouse or her attacker who's been attacking her for years, or any of that. There's just that one set of circumstances where you would ever harm anyone or have to, whatever. But you're not just a fucked up person. You just happen to be in these fucked up circumstances, right?
Well, Karen Howell's letter, I read it in its entirety, and she talks a lot about, her bad experiences throughout childhood, how it had a big effect on her, a lot of pain, anger, confusion. She had low self-worth, that she was never taught how to deal with her emotions when bad things happen. She had all these wounds that lay open in silence, and that those feelings just stayed with her for so long, and she didn't really know how to process them or deal with them. It kind of led her to make a lot of bad choices. I mean, she was like, I ran away from home. I, was bullied. I acted out. I dabbled in stuff I shouldn't have. Was trying to get my life back on track, babysitting, trying to work, at this daycare, saving money to buy a car. She was just saying that she got to a point where she just kind of lost herself, was looking for validation in all the wrong places, fell into this crowd, and it was just kind of easy to go along with the group because she had a lot of issues.
There's that country song
Yeah.
about that.
Is there?
Looking for validation all the wrong places.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, part of me thinks like this group definitely got what they deserve because this is a horrific crime. But at the same time, I mean, Karen, Crystal, they were kind of just along for the ride. I mean, they really didn't play like a significant role in this. They seem like people who probably would not reoffend.
That was the result of, I think, the goth vampire. They're all evil. They're all bad. Because typically in the same, I mean, I've heard cases that were way worse than that. People being tortured, cut apart and all this. Not that this isn't horrible. I've seen, people just along for the ride or they had the leash roll get 6, 8, 5 years.
Right. I mean, I think you have to look at, and I'm no judge here. I'm no attorney. I'm no legal expert. But I feel like you have to look at the individuals. And I think Karen Howell, Crystal Sturgill, they're definitely people, well, I shouldn't say definitely, but they seem to me to be people who would likely not go out and do this crime again.
They were just with someone who
murder a family again.
You're right. They were with somebody who happened to do this fucked up shit.
And they really have kind of paid for the crime. I mean, they've done a lot of time. They've done they've served almost 20 years.
More than a lot of murderers get.
Exactly. So,
right.
Yeah, maybe they should be able to get out now.
Right.
I mean, I think Jason Bryant, if he's the real shooter, he deserves to be where he is.
And he's probably he's probably oldest, right?
He's the youngest one. But Joe Reisner is the older. He's the 20-year-old. And you've got to think he's the one that was like stealing guns, pulling the guns out.
If he hadn't been with the other three,
kidnapped these guys,
it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. So I think Joe, Natasha, and Jason definitely played a big part in this.
Right.
And I think that Dean, I mean, he kind of went along with it too. He's driving the car, following them. He could have easily been like, we're going to get the hell out of here. I mean, I have to say, if I'm out with my group of friends and I'm in the car behind this group, they steal a van, hold the family hostage, no. I'm going to look at my shotgun rider and I'm going to be like, we're getting the fuck out of here.
I'm not
overheating or not. I'm turning my ass around and going the opposite direction.
Until this car blows the fuck up.
I'm not going to be part of this.
We are not going to meet them any fucking where. Because this is, as a matter of fact, we're going to call the fucking police right now.
Right?
And say that they tripping and go get them. We're going to stop this. I wouldn't be able to, I don't care how
I just think,
badass I'm trying to be.
He's the driver of the car. He had every opportunity to turn the car around.
Right.
But he followed along.
You can't even pull that.
That makes him a little bit more like culpable for whatever happened.
You can't pull that I was scared for my life bullshit, because that's what they typically do.
Right.
There's this alpha guy and everybody's scared to death of him. So that's why they help him cut up a body and move it around and all that bullshit. Yeah, I'm not doing any of that. And if I have a chance, like you said, I'm gone. We out.
So I guess we'll call this the Kentucky Vampire Cult.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good name for a punk band.
Maybe, but
and we love Kentucky.
We do.
We love them.
Getting lucky in Kentucky.
Love Pineville.
But before we end the show, I want to give a shout out to Elle Gibbs, one of our new Patreon supporters, and also Jeremy. So they've signed up on our Patreon account. They've become patrons, are donating money to our podcast, which is always great. If you want to be a patron, all you have to do is go over to Mountain Murders Podcast on Patreon. You can sign up for just a couple of bucks a month. I think our lowest level is like $3.
Yeah.
You can afford $3 a month, but it helps our podcast with some of the expenses.
It keeps it alive.
Upgrade equipment, that kind of thing.
Yeah. We are listener powered. I mean, literally.
True.
It is, we were talking earlier today about this amazing times that we live in, that we can try to do this little something and people can, without any corporate, having to, anyone having their fingers in it or, we can just straight to the people.
Well, right, exactly.
And yeah, thank you, Elle Gibbs and Jeremy. That's very incredible. So you guys literally are keeping this podcast going, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and of course, all of our folks on Facebook, all of our friends over there. I feel like we have a nice little community on our Mountain Murders page.
Wonderful.
We've got a lot of people who interact, and you can tell they're kind of interacting with each other.
Yes.
Maybe they're making some Facebook friends. But it's a lot of fun. So if you're not following us on Facebook, go look up Mountain Murders. We post a lot of funny memes, of course, links to the podcast, different information there. And we're also on Twitter. And you can find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, CastBox, Spreaker.
Yeah, if you do tune in and then think it doesn't sound like total shit and want to listen to another episode, if you guys, no matter where you listen, get it, whatever platform, hit that subscribe button. That helps us on just get word of mouth out there and stuff, and you'll automatically get new episodes, because we're going to be a little sporadic over the next couple of weeks.
We want to pump out some content.
We might drop one at 1 a.m. We might drop one at 10 on a Friday evening or whatever.
Ooh, the suspense.
It is. And of course, we would be dropping, so that means a good bunch of extra stuff for the patrons.
Yeah.
We got some great little mini-sodes, we're going to call them, special for the patrons, and some other media there, pictures, whatnot, news accounts, things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, so it's about to be, can I say it? I've been saying it.
Okay.
A content bomb, dog.
Okay.
Was that okay?
He's got his man bun and he's being very hip. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you know
here.
what?
But
I'm a hipster.
Thank you for tuning in, checking out Mountain Murders. We appreciate it, and we'll be back soon with more true crime.